Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan in the chat room saying I got super 90s Dan hair.
Rauce and Joel are here from Good Sauce with Rauce and Joel. You need to get a new one of those.
Yeah,
it
put
broke.
new batteries in it.
Oh,
no.
Hold on.
It's
It's
a
got
hunk of
short-
Amazon junk.
Hold on. I just put... Oh, my God. Oh, it's dead.
Last time we were here, that was way louder.
It's dead.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
dead.
Everything I've been ordering from
Well, you're
Amazon
5
has been
episodes
breaking.
in, okay? You know, and let's just say the quality's on the
I'm
decline.
assuming
No,
that's because of us.
No,
Well,
it's
like,
absolutely not. I guess this thing has been sucking batteries. It takes C batteries.
In-house alarm. We got that. Wee, 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 wee.
So,
there you go.
you guys have a fringe show coming up on Thursday, so tell me about it.
Oh, you go first.
All right, it's called 10 Sketches.
Okay.
Guess what it is?
All right. I have an idea.
I like that.
It's
right
a one-woman show.
Yeah, we're not even in it.
Yeah.
It's 10 original sketches.
Okay.
Some of them are 3-4 minutes long. Some
Nice.
of them are about a minute long.
Okay.
It's all over.
Micro sketches.
Yeah, there are micro sketches.
I'm a fan of a micro sketch because they're hard.
Well,
I feel like micro sketches are they're deceivingly evil to create, I feel
and the
like.
trick of those is if your joke is really only 30 seconds long, you don't need a 5-minute sketch.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just tell the joke and get out.
I like that, yeah.
So that's kind of, we just wanted it to be funny, and we've pretty much embraced cartoon little kid what boys pretend to be while they're hanging out. We are cowboys, astronauts, pirates,
Thieves.
thieves,
Ooh.
breaking into a house, an angel and a devil. We kind of there are a lot of tropes, a lot of familiar
Okay.
We wanted-
characters you'll see, but
I
Yeah,
like
it's
big
also
themes.
kind of a robot chicken vibe. It's not safe for small ears. or
Okay, I like
young
this.
ears. Any ears that get offended. just-
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Off-
I feel like
offendable ears.
if you're going to fringe, you either are not offended by anything or offended by everything.
Yeah,
Nowhere in the middle.
There are some
That's
people
pretty
that
true.
go, they're like, I'm going to see if Boner Jesus is here again. You know, like they go just...
I'm ready to blog.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen my stand-up, which probably you haven't, but just a heads up, I really don't go that hard or that gross or it's
No.
not that blue or
Yeah,
dirty.
political.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Positive.
That's what I'm
Positive,
shooting for.
Fun, happy.
Yeah.
With this fringe show, and specifically this fringe show, I think we earned every one of those moments that are traditionally going, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. I think we get away with every single risk that we go for.
I like that.
So let's analyze the word sketch to start with. So what is?
Well, I know it's not a skit because when you say skit, I feel like that belittles it.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
know one thing about sketch, and
Oh,
that's
what?
my friends in sketch. When they go anywhere and talk to anybody about sketch, somebody calls it a skit. And I
True.
feel bad
Oh,
because I'm like, oh, they did it.
I really wish we'd called it 10 Skits.
10 skits
Like
is pretty
if,
funny.
if we hadn't printed stuff, I would have been like, it's
because
different now.
it's offensive a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Like
not to us, but we don't care about anything.
right, me neither. Me neither.
Oh, well,
right, right.
what is the exact definition of a sketch? I mean,
Okay.
because if it's too long, I feel like it's a mini movie or
Yeah.
a play.
Yeah.
Like a
Novella,
long
a
sketch
novella.
is a play, right? Or how does that work?
For me, my definition of a sketch is I heard this term. I'll introduce a new term to you. If a sketch has to have a game, what is the game that we're playing? What is the one thing that we're trying to complete? What is the objective of this game? One game, get on out, beginning, middle, and end. If it has a game and it has a beginning, middle, and end, that's a sketch to me. Especially also with comedic, hopefully, opportunities riddled in between.
My
So
God,
is
my
it-
life is a skit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it has to
Actually,
be-
it might be a skit.
Oh, you're right. It's very short. I mean, that's
So-
my dad died at 66,
But
and
that-
I'm on track.
A skit is shorter than a sketch.
Is that what you call
I
me a
think
skit?
a skit is what you do at church to prove a Bible verse true.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was
what's
in the puppet team. I was in the puppet
Oh, were
team.
you?
Oh, yeah. And handbells.
Team, how many puppets
And
were there?
handbells. Oh, we had a full set, double stage.
Oh man,
Double
that's
tier.
That sounds like a Fringe show I would love to go hate.
Double tier Christian puppets. It was dope.
That sounds like a metal band.
Yeah, it was great.
What if we remarketed this? Because we live in a society that loves mini videos, TikTok,
No,
and
you
Yeah.
Reels.
You do.
What if you?
I don't.
What if you labeled it as a live reel? Right, you know what I'm saying? You're like 10 live reels.
Live
come
scrolling.
See. Oh, come see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd have to have a way for people to scroll to the next one.
On a scroll with
Because
Ross
I
and
feel
Joel.
like it's the control that brings people
Nah,
there.
they like
the
the
reason
control.
you're addicted to it is because you can control it.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you were just forced to watch things that I like, you'd go crazy.
You're saying we would look into the audience and everyone would just be waving their arms.
yeah. There'd have to be a way for you to,
And-
for them to do that.
You're onto something.
Oh.
That thought that you just had, we had back in December. And one reason why we went with 10 sketches
I
is
had this thought in
exactly
November.
that.
Before it was cool.
Is
Oh, sorry.
exactly that. Is that we do live in a society in 2024 where attention spans are short, and it's
Yeah.
scroll. I will be the first one to admit it. I sometimes get into an internet K-hole myself, and
Yeah.
you just scroll, and next
Short
thing you know,
kings.
45 minutes later, you didn't learn anything. You laughed 3 times, and now you just had a screen in front of your face at 1 a.m. That thought is why we're going with 10 beginning, middle, and ends. My biggest complaint in theater is that it's kind of hard sometimes to understand exactly what's going on
Yeah.
because there is no cuts. It's live. It's
Yeah.
one take. If you daydream once, you may have missed introduction of a character.
Yeah.
When the lights go off, it's a whole new slate. We got you. I understand when an audience member goes like, I'm confused. I don't think you get confused on this because there's 10 beginning, middle, and ends.
Gotcha. And it's easy to digest, and then it's like, 10 different stories. Better, like,
How do you pick when you guys are writing this,
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to write 40, 30, 50?
There are a lot of sketches
nailed
on the
it.
floor.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
So you write a bunch, and then do you argue with each other? Because I know you're buddies, and I see sort of the same dynamic that we have, you and I.
Yeah.
And we don't really argue a lot. In recent years, though, it's increased because we're failing. But that's what happens. That's what happens. When the business is being torn apart, then you tear each other apart. That's just facts.
Yeah.
But do you guys, how hard is it to wrangle which ones you want? Who gets the call? Isn't it a straight 50-50? Do you each get 5? What is the deal?
Well, it's just not worth doing something you don't agree on because you're half the cast. We do
Write
the
that
show
down.
together.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's
We
brilliant.
But
we
it's just
only do
not-
things we don't
Yeah.
agree with.
We're the unagreeable men.
I think because we have such a friendly vibe, seriously, we have to maintain that. We have to
I
do
agree.
things that we both think are going to work, or else you're not going to get the setup you want for the punchline that you do because they don't believe in it. So
Okay.
we
Yeah,
kind
it
of
would be- it wouldn't be
agree on all
genuine,
these
yeah.
things.
There was, I would say that there's 2 moments, and the details are kind of boring, but there's 2 moments throughout this whole writing of the script where I think both of us looked at each other and went, I can't do that, you do it, and I can't do that, you do it. And then that was probably,
We switched parts
Yeah,
in one sketch.
nice.
After a while, it wasn't working, and we were like, why don't we read it the other way around?
Let me
And
do
then
the
boom.
business for one day.
there
Let me do it.
was a,
You can do it for the rest of the time.
Mess it up real bad.
there
real
was
bad.
It's pretty easy, actually. If you saw how easy it is, you'd be like, oh, my
Wow,
God.
mine's easier. Wait till I show you how easy mine is.
You're just emailing somebody.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you want to pay this?
Yeah.
All right.
I just hit 2 buttons back and forth, back and forth.
The whole thing is easier than people think.
One of the coolest moments, though, is when we had a draft, because we had a dry erase board,
Nice.
and there is 40 sketches on there.
Uh-huh.
And now some of them are similar, I'll be honest with you. I would say, 8 or 10 of those sketches are very similar games, but just in different settings. So
Yeah.
40 is kind of an inflated, but still 40 different sketches on a dry erase board. And we had a draft. What's your number 1 overall draft? What's the one that you have, I know that's how.
Anybody go Falcons and really blow it up?
There was one I would say that I've been the most stubborn about, and I'll give you the
Who
title
got
of
the Penix?
I was very stubborn about this homophobic gay cowboy sketch.
All right.
I'm in. That's all I needed to hear.
And that's why I was
Giddy
like,
up.
I need this in the show. I trust it. I believe in this
Yeah.
sketch.
And this is how our creative process starts.
I like
I'll get to his house and he'll go, "You ever seen a homophobic gay cowboy?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, and then
6 months later, we're setting light cues for a homophobic
Wearing
gay cowboy.
Oliver Peck mask.
Yeah, you have
know,
so
like,
many questions after you hear those 3 words together.
Yeah,
Homophobic gay cowboy.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's going to be really awesome to answer all those questions come this Thursday.
Go ahead, Tom.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was
didn't
going to
wanna
ask,
step on you.
where do people get tickets? I mean, obviously, Fringe is going on. You get your button. You can see all the shows, or you can buy individual tickets to shows.
Yep.
And where can they buy tickets for you guys?
OrlandoFringe.org or RauceComedy.com.
Okay.
That is true.
So, yeah, the link's at RauceComedy.com, or on Fringe, you search for Ross and Joel, and it'll come
10
up.
sketches. And also because the title is got a number in it. We're one of the first shows like in the digital program. Hey,
That's why we didn't
AAA
spell out
locksmith.
10.
Yeah, got to do it.
We would have been in the
AAA
T
locksmith.
crowd, and that's just not where we live. We're numerical.
But yeah, going from space to cowboys, it was just so much fun. This has been the hardest comedy project, or just the biggest comedy effort I've ever been a part of.
How many
Theater-
times do you run it?
We've ran it.
Once we decided on what the 10 sketches were, we immediately started running it. And then
Change the order 100
we changed
million
the order.
times? Yeah.
I'd say probably we thought we were perfect the first time we set the order. And then I think 2 more times we've changed it.
Yeah.
That's what you and I thought about spaghetti in a bag.
And the order is so important.
work.
I didn't think the order was that important until I started really thinking about the dynamic, or just like the psychology of an audience and what we're asking them to go through and listen and to digest. Then all of a sudden I realized, wow, the order is incredibly important. Do you put a longer sketch next to a shorter sketch and a medium-sized sketch? We broke down the duration of each sketch, and that played a huge factor in the order of it.
Yeah, I've never really thought as much about what the audience experience would be like, and maybe that's not a good thing, but as we have on this one, it's like, what would I want to see if I went to the Fringe?
Sure.
I just want to laugh. I don't want to think too hard about politics or any of those things, but you can tell me a dumb joke in a smart way, and I like that. And,
make
I
me
want to
giggle
watch
a little bit.
I want to watch these middle-aged guys act like all these cartoon character people, and
I love it.
It's a fun time. We also wrote it not wanting anybody to have to pay attention to anything for too long, in case they didn't like it.
Yeah,
It's,
it moves.
You know, they're short and sweet.
It moves. Yeah, I like that.
Do you guys find that when you guys write together that it seems to go down a similar path each time? Because me and Daniel, every time we
end
have
with suicide in every. Is that what you're going
murder,
to?
suicide,
Oh, I have one of those.
or divorce.
Yeah, like every
it goes
fantasy
dark
every
scenario
time.
we have is like we're both like we divorced our wives, and then we're trying to figure out a creative way to kill ourselves.
Daniel lives under a bridge.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I'm obsessed with wanting to live under a bridge.
Yeah.
Why not? It's shady.
I like the tight space. I don't know. I'm fascinated with those type of people and the way that they live and their lack of laws.
But all our
You can embrace
fantasy,
troll culture.
I could. I'm built for it, man.
it just goes down a horrible dark path.
Yeah.
That's where we end up, and then it always ends up the same way.
And that always makes me laugh the most, though. It's like
Yeah,
me
why is
sad
that?
somewhere, and then like the idea
So-
of my daughter looking at my Facebook, because I still have one even though I'm homeless, but she's just like scrolling and looking. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I think that's so funny.
I'm on his unhomed
You
page.
should not think that's funny.
That would be such a bummer to go to a homeless guy's Facebook page.
They're all over the internet.
Well, because you could scroll down and just see like the
his life get better.
His life get better.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's like a sad movie in
They're
reverse.
everywhere, man.
You know, like back in 2018, he was at a birthday party.
Wow, look at
He
that.
hosted a barbecue 2 years ago.
No grays.
There are a lot of homeless people now with like digital apps to
Yes.
receive currency, and I'm a
traditionalist.
I will go to the grave with never paying a homeless person digitally, but I just refuse to do it.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm cash
never,
homeless,
I will
yeah.
never cash app a homeless person
Yeah.
or Venmo.
I go
it.
as far to get change. I get coins. I'm a coin guy.
Old school.
Yeah, I go very old school.
I just give him Dave and Buster's tokens.
Those are good though.
Like if you save these up, you can get a fanny pack.
You can
Are you
play one
hungry for
game.
pinball?
Curly straw, anybody?
So let's
I'd
talk.
appreciate it for from now on, if you'd say unhoused, please.
Oh yeah, that's
Something my wife and daughter have been trying to beat into my head, so I'd appreciate it if you do it too, please. Apparently, you can't say hobo on the way to the dance studio.
No, they get mad at bum and hobo.
No, I said hobo,
Homeless.
and Maisie and Andrea were yelling. I was like, oh, a hobo.
It's an unhoused bow.
No, homeless is fine.
God.
No one.
That's terrific.
No one gets offended by bum either. Like
My daughter and wife do not like hobo. And then my daughter's like, what is a hobo? And I was like, it involves trains.
Yeah, I love hobo. Hobo is so much fun.
Yeah.
Hobo, it implies you're an adventurer as well.
Yeah, you are. You are.
It's not that you don't have a house. You're too busy for one.
My dad taught me about hobos with the very famous country music singer Boxcar Willie. Who had the persona of a hobo, and he'd sing a song, and I'd be like, why does that guy look homeless? And my dad'd go, he's a hobo. And I was like, what is that? And then he said it was homeless people that rode trains.
And why?
That was the definition for forever. I was like, all right.
I never expect to learn when I come here, but it always happens.
We've got a pretty big bucket of knowledge here, man.
And why is your handkerchief filled with goods on a stick? No reason for
Yeah.
You can carry that in your hand or on your belt loop.
Well, I mean,
no reason
it's
for
more
a stick.
dramatic, I feel like, hanging from the stick.
How's good sauce going?
So far, I think so good.
Okay.
It has been a wild, it's been crazy, for me at least, to crash course learning an entire different cosmos of information on the technical side. And then also can't forget about the artistic side, and also trying to make sure that we are having fun, entertaining conversations. It's been so much fun. Honestly, straight up, I think the last episode that we had, episode 4, I thought, there it is. That's our strive. It took 3 episodes, I think, for us to go, there it is.
It
just
takes
really
a while.
sniff it out, and I still think it's going to take even longer. I understand that you call them 4 episodes and like, oh, yeah, we're done. No, we're not. This is, I know.
Wait till it gets bad again.
Yeah, I know it's a marathon.
It goes the other way.
We're trying to keep it.
I was explaining to Rauce a little bit about you and I getting done with shows. We'll get done some days, and we'll be like, oh, God, that's like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What was that?
It's been too cool, to be honest with you.
Man.
It means too much that you guys have still offered that hour, and I look forward to the day that I could somehow repay you.
No
I
way.
know that I don't have that
Just
answer.
leave us alone.
Oh, yeah.
But there will be a time that I will repay you both.
Well,
Oh, yeah. It'll be when me and Daniel show up at your house, destitute, divorced.
And I'm this close to
Like,
killing myself, and
like-
you're like, don't do it, man.
And like, we need to stay in your spare bedroom for a while. We'll do the podcast.
We'll
out of your
show
spare-
up, and I'm like, I'm a hobo.
And then you'll have that uncomfortable conversation with your wife in the kitchen where you're arguing. You're like, they helped us back in 2024.
They have to have the couch. They just let them
Like a
have
whole
the couch.
family.
Yeah.
We're
We'll sleep
hiding.
under it like it's a bridge.
And then your wife's
okay.
like, well, how much
Cozy
did,
under here.
How much did they really help us? They just told us a couple things.
No.
I feel like
they didn't really
No,
do that
I mean, this
much.
is all on the internet.
Yeah.
Every single thing.
Yeah. We
in fact,
could've-
in some ways, better, less
yeah.
wordy, cuts to the chase.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like you're the kids that came over and you're like, hey, you want to smoke cigarettes?
Yeah.
Like, we could have just YouTubed how to start a podcast, and there's whole videos on it.
Yeah, but we would have to come in here and thank these guys every couple of months.
My wife getting involved with Good Sauce, being
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the sales manager, has been such a cool power couple
Family business.
dynamic that I was being
Kinda
straight
hot,
up.
too,
I think
man.
every husband and I think every wife walks into anything like that going like, "Are you scared? Are you what? How are we?"
yeah.
And then we've really conquered that. She's amazing. I walked home one day and there was music playing in my mother-in-law's suite. And all of a sudden I start smelling paint as I'm getting closer to my mom-in-law's suite. And then I look, my wife's been painting, and she goes, I'm making a studio.
What?
That's what she's doing with her second trimester.
I need a good wife.
So you
And
guys,
she did. We recorded in it before we came here.
So you
First
guys,
episode in our new
She
studio.
made you a studio while she's pregnant?
And
Oh
she
my
made him a
painting
studio
your
and a
studio
baby.
God, your wife's still asleep, and I haven't talked to my wife all week. It's on a business trip.
and she bought
She's
a
still
rug.
mad about the unhomos.
She bought the chairs, a couch. I mean,
wow.
I'm gonna have to pay for that later. But what else, you know?
Yeah.
Now, not talking S, but you don't have a job. You could be painting.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's busy thinking of jokes.
But it was her
Your
idea.
wife is pregnant.
She wanted to do it. She wanted to do it.
I am 100%.
I'm joking.
I knew what I was getting into when I'm like, yeah, my pregnant wife did all the work. She's a snowball. Once that thing goes down the hill, you won't stop it.
Yeah,
And
she's
in fact,
gonna get it going.
it
yeah.
just keeps. She's Titan.
Yeah, and it does turn out that when you're pregnant, you do have you actually have time for work. It's when you have the baby, no time for nothing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
will everything will
gone.
stop after
Yeah.
that. That first. I mean,
Especially
3
well,
years really.
I wasn't.
gonna
I mean,
be-
I had a lot of free time. I'm like, what do you need? What do you need?
We should call the studio like the second trimester to always remember. And also the second trimester, that's a poetic title for anything.
Yeah, and also month number
The
8 and
call it a
9. She
do-master.
ain't gonna
It
want
is.
That's a rough one.
Which one?
Month 8 and 9 when you're
Oh,
pregnant.
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's.
I feel
That's
for
the
hard.
get this out of me time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrea was very like she was very Rogan-y. Very
uh,
red Rogan-y, very
yeah.
puffy, very red, very like she's on some sort of growth hormone.
the moment that
I'm told it feels awful.
the moment she found out that she was pregnant, one of her first concerns was, oh God, pregnant, Florida summer,
Yeah.
third trimester. That's going to be, the
It's
calendar
hot.
for
Yeah.
2024. And man, I'm starting to. God bless. I've learned so much about women. God.
Did you go to the class?
Man,
You go-
I haven't gone to a class yet. I've gone
He's
to.
still unlicensed.
I'm still
Okay,
unlicensed.
there's one at the Winnie Palmer that I went to, and then you'll look around and there'll be all these like mouth breathers in there, and you're like, oh my God, and they give you a fake baby, and you're writing down. You'll look at, and it'll make you realize how dumb all the other dads are, and you'll be like, thank God my baby got me. Is that rude? Is that rude to say? But I felt that way. Like I looked around and I was like, oh my God, all these people are horrible. They're horrible.
I've been speaking through the belly, right?
Yeah,
all of my
you gotta do it.
all of my conversations with my son so far have been
Yeah.
like, you have no idea. We are so cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very
Yeah.
confident talking to my. I guess yeah.
He's
my
not
son.
hearing that. There's no reason.
He doesn't
to.
believe it. Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy. over there.
Class,
Yeah, you
speaking
direct-
to the belly.
Just
all
direct
that,
those over to the emotional guy, please.
I
like
that
those.
does nothing.
Yeah, I'm into those. I talk to my dog.
Have I given you the don't look at it speech yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's
just
your
making sure.
stance on that? What's your stance?
Yeah.
Don't look at your kids.
Well, there's-
No. The birth. Just don't look
Yeah.
at the birth.
There's yeah. I don't know if I got that in me. At first, I thought for sure I
Like
got
Dion,
that.
got that dog in me.
I thought for sure I was like, there's no way I'm
What's
not
to
gonna
gain?
look.
Like what?
That's
Nothing.
what. Yeah,
Nothing.
there's nothing to gain. There's
Nothing.
you only can lose, Joel.
I did
it.
Like,
I did it. Look at
and
me.
he
I want to
lost
live
it.
under a bridge. Like, what did it do to me? Nothing.
Just why have that image burned
I got
into your
bullied
brain?
into doing it by a Spanish real woman doctor who was drop dead gorgeous, and she bullied me into
Yeah,
doing it.
there's no
and I was like,
magic.
oh yeah, I'm tough. I can do it, and I did it. And I was like, oh wow, and it changed my entire life.
It's only atrocity.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
no
a
magic.
different man now. It's
not
like doing
magic.
ayahuasca. I'm a completely different human being. My personality's
Now
different.
I haven't seen it live, but I did see the video in high school.
Yeah,
I-
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
And I remember that being
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's worse
There's no
because you care about the person. Now I'm not making any jokes. It's
And-
like it's worse because you love that
Yeah,
person
yeah.
and you're like, oh my God, it's a
And
nightmare.
I was in the room, and you could see, like, if
Oh yeah, you can see it.
you
It's like a horse peeing. You see it anywhere. You see it out of every.
No.
Like,
It's
there's no
it's
way to
in all
not see
vision.
it.
if you
Yeah.
just don't know focus on it. That's
You
the
can
thing.
hear
Like,
it. You can hear it.
if it's in the corner of your eye, it's like unfocused, like I could could see Daniel over here,
Yeah,
but I'm not looking at his lips.
Yeah, don't look at my lips. Don't you ever look at my lips, you
Anyway,
mother
I'm
effer.
sorry.
You
Or
sick
whatever,
bastard.
or whatever.
Sorry, enough
You
of that.
invited them over
Enough
here
of
to
that.
look at my lips?
Enough of that. I want to mention too, if you want to advertise with good sauce, what's the easiest email? Like, should people contact
RauceComedy@gmail.com.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because obviously they still looking for advertisers, and they're still taking those and building that.
Yep.
The business side, because that's another part of it. It's like you work so hard on like making sure the show's good, and then you're like, well, I need to make a living as well.
Yeah.
Like,
It is serious.
and so that's the thing I never thought we talk about the oversaturation of like how many podcasts.
Great.
there
Now
are.
the chat room's making fun of all of us have white people lips. And we have gross, disgusting white people lips.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'll own that.
Very
my-
Well,
my
they're
chapped.
thin
Very
bird
thin
lips.
bird lips.
Yeah,
None of
yeah.
us are known for our lips.
No,
It's true.
No, you know what?
Although
I'm
you-
with Joel. I'll take that.
You could get some injections, and we can get some big, thick.
You guys want to
lips
get
on
all?
there.
Let's get some
Are
big
you
fat
saying
lips?
that the chat is inspiring us to all get plastic
I-
surgery?
You could do that.
I think we should. That's the crossover Orlando needs. Sauce and Tom and Dan, we
Yeah.
lip it up, man.
A big, thick lips.
Big
It's
lip.
a big event.
Okay.
Well, we'll get 8 peeps.
We'll do an 8-lip trip.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So the pod that with how many podcasts are out there now that don't make money, and then just like
Most of them.
like do show like because a lot of celebrities do podcasts that they don't monetize. They just do it to help because they're so big. They just do it to help their brand or whatever.
Sure.
But with that, like I didn't foresee people doing podcasts and putting out content for to not monetize it.
Yeah, there's
And-
a lot of people that do that.
but that has caused a saturation that even more of like now every single celebrity, like even with I'm now seeing like clips of people's podcasts of everybody who's involved in the Tom Brady roast, talking about like the aftermath, the after party, like what people are claiming that Tom Brady was legitimately mad that they made fun of Kraft and like that wasn't planned. Which I was like, because they like.
I don't believe anything anymore, man. I think everything's planned.
Although these guys could talk about it now, right? Unless they signed NDAs with like Netflix or something.
I just think entertainment's just entertainment. I leave it there. I'm like, that's fake. It's gotta be fake.
But this is a new. I feel that, but I also kind of think that this is a new era of media, and the pendulum has kind of swung back. All of a sudden, if you watch that Tom Brady roast and tell me it didn't feel like, oh my God, wait a second. I think the 90s came back for a little.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, it felt like, whoa, Jerry Springer.
I will say my dad in heaven, I heard him laugh one time, very loud.
Like, that content was very not 2017. It was very... I was surprised with how hard it
went hard.
Oh, yeah.
It
went hard.
Not for it to just go that hard, but everyone celebrated.
Yeah, and you didn't see any backlash. You didn't see any people, and I think that is, people are like, well, now.
It kind of felt like I was watching something I shouldn't have been
Right?
seeing.
Right?
And
that's
think
their niche now.
The other thing I would lump onto what you're saying is that it was live. And I think we're underestimating the fact that just saying that to me, I'm such a mark for this sort of stuff, to use a wrestling term or whatever, but like if you say it's live, even if it's not, but if it is, I don't know, I get excited about it.
Yeah.
I love theater. Theater's the best to me because it's the ultimate mistakes. Like it's like that is live.
Yeah.
Man, these guys, like when you go and see their show at Fringe, there is a possibility that they flub something and have to work quick on their feet.
Oh, we talked about that. 'Cause
That's what makes it great.
We're known for the videos. Those are heavily edited.
Sure.
We shoot tons of jokes that we don't put in the videos, and we just sit there for days afterwards and cut joke, make it faster, whatever.
Really fun.
It's actually frustrating when something that was so funny doesn't make the cut,
Right,
and
right.
it's
or you
like,
can't get it in there somehow.
We've
Like,
got an epic amount of bloopers, but for the Fringe show, like you said, we have to do all 10 sketches in one take.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
that.
So, and it's fun, and we can, and we do,
Yeah.
but it's different because you're making sure you get it right.
I think that's why you like it. It's kind of like what you're doing with your triathlon. It's like it's a feat. You have to practice it. You can't just BS it. You can't go up there and do, hey, here's our 10 sketches with all it. It has to be. You have to practice it and execute it.
Well, my
That's
triathlon is way more impressive.
Well,
Okay, all right,
let's wait
that's
till
fair.
you do
That
it.
is
I'm
fair.
joking,
That
I'm
is
joking.
fair.
Once you've done it, you can
And
say
you can
that.
buy tickets for that. No.
I'm joking.
Just hope that the triathlon isn't as
but
funny.
It feels kind of like a new era of entertainment from 2020 to present.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, it feels
true.
when athletes started getting a podcast and being that honest and going like, oh my God, we're finding out who these people really are.
Well, if you look back, okay, so let's analyze like what we've seen because we're all old enough. We saw it all happen, right? So it's like
Always taking shots at me.
We went from the 90s where you had like everybody was watching network TV and cable TV
Destroying.
and then listening to the same radio stations. There's no internet or social media, and then we go into the internet age and everybody's fighting, and all of a sudden now you're able to see what your pop thinks and your Uncle Randy thinks, and politically, and everybody's like, they're all fighting each other, being like, what the hell? Like, I can't believe people think like this, because they all weren't talking to each other before, because everybody just talked to their friends and family in their neighborhoods,
Well,
right?
not just that, but in 90s, select few had platforms.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Now everyone was given a platform.
So then, as we flesh out social media, it seems like, okay, Facebook has fallen into where either everybody's blocked the people or unfollowed the people that they don't want to hear from, or got into groups of like-minded people. Then that's where they feel like
The only thing I've blocked lately are those AI-generated crochet pictures of grandmas. You guys get those?
What?
Never mind.
and then
Like these unattainable crocheting monstrosities, and these grandmas holding them up, and I'm like, they're fake.
This is when
It's impossible.
It's AI generated.
This
No
is-
human can.
You were talking about like in Facebook, you're blocking, you have
Yeah.
your selective groups and all of that. I think it's even like spicier. This is when I get my tinfoil hat. I think your phone knows the things you don't like, and then it just now it's
showing it to
choosing
you.
your algorithm because you just went right over that. I got you. Note taken.
And the algorithm is only showing you like skits and TikTok videos and reels that
Sketches.
that you find funny.
This
it's
mother
like,
effer.
That's the third time.
a reel
This
is
gets
a
crazy.
skit.
And
Hold
he'll
on.
throw it in there low key.
Hold on.
Just to really knock
I
your
use,
pee-pee.
I use the right verbiage. A reel in a TikTok video is a skit, not a sketch, right? It can be, but I feel like it's more of a skit than a sketch.
I was
anyway.
just making a joke.
But
I don't know. You're taking it too far, buddy.
the
We should have called it Sketchy Skitches.
Sketchy sketches with the lip boys.
and I feel like now in 2024, everybody is in the groups that they want to be, is listening and consuming information.
want to say what we want to say.
From like-minded people, and choosing the things that they want to watch on demand, right? And now we're kind of back in the 90s where everybody's just hanging out with like-minded people and their friends and family.
Just digitally.
It's digitally 90s. We're in the digital 90s now.
Worked it out.
Where we're now in our own bubbles. We're all consuming only things that we want to. We all watch and listen to the podcasts we want to watch and people we want to hear. Like, no one's listening to anything that we don't want, right? No one's like going and listening to like
I'm
a
listening
different
to you
political.
right now. It's a joke. I'm joking.
Dunk on them right there.
I'm joking.
Right.
I'm joking on him.
Right, it's the digital 90s.
I think it's a little bit more even personal than that, because that's if you want that out of social media. Some people,
You're right. Yeah.
you know, like they only Facebook Marketplace. They only scroll Venmo. I don't know. It's all whatever you want out of it. I do think though that social media is like hacking into us. That's why like I said, this is where I get a little tinfoily real quick.
No, for sure.
I agree with you.
The ability to the algorithm that everybody has now and is building on the internet, right? And that's what we're building a marketing algorithm so that people get, because everybody's like scared that they have my information, they know everything I do, but they're using that just to market some Chinese garbage to you. Like that's all they're doing.
I'm your guy.
And that's why like the NFL is going to be be streaming only soon, and everything's going to be streaming only, because once everything is streaming, then they know everything about you. They know your exact age, what you're into, what you like.
They know when you turn on the streams, which is probably most important, right? Like, when are they active? When are they on?
But even more importantly than that, like, this guy is into running and triathlons. We're going to market that stuff to him. But this guy is into pickleball, and he likes to go out on his boat. And we're just going to market that, because that, knowing all the information about a customer to market to, is what all the corporations want.
Have you ever had it be wrong about you? Like, really wrong?
It's never wrong, Joel. Even
No.
if you think it
I
is,
would
it knows
like
more
to
than
think
you.
it's wrong.
My
but-
Instagram thinks I live in Houston.
Oh, that wrong.
It markets only Houston-based events to me and T-shirts that make me not look as fat.
Hold on.
Ooh,
Those
wait, the
I'll
one
accept.
with
Hold
the
on.
belly pouch.
My wife loves the way this shirt looks on me. It's really tight in the arms and really big here, and I'm like, that's a maternity shirt.
Yeah, it's tight in the arms. Is it the black guy with the dreads in the commercial?
Not on my version.
Okay, so I get the black guy.
Doesn't it know your
I wish I
ID?
got the black guy.
Yeah, he's attractive.
My guy looks like I gave up more.
No, this guy's attractive. This guy kind of looks like David Lucas, the comedian.
I got this.
You're edgier than me.
I got this
Yeah.
new trend in my
don't
feed
know.
right now,
Oh.
and here's the thing: the algorithm must be like, he likes it. Maybe the algorithm knows that I like it, ironically too.
Okay.
But
Jeez.
I get
It made you like it.
Yeah. I rarely like stuff on Instagram, Facebook. Very rarely, mainly just sports stuff.
Chat room gets the fat guy shirts too.
Thank you.
But I keep getting like really bad independent rappers.
Ooh, but
Really?
you like rap.
He also does rap at home a lot.
yeah. I mean,
I
So
wonder if
they
that's
might
why.
think he is a bad independent rapper.
yeah,
They're like,
maybe that's
feed
what it
him
is.
what he is.
But I think it is so funny, dude. I get these low budget 45, 50-year-old like Southern Georgia white men rapping. They're like dads of like
Whoa.
four.
like old Bubba
Old,
Sparks?
no,
Or
dude, they're
Aren't they
just like a divorced dad rapping.
And he's just rapping in his little makeshift studio, or
No,
just rapping into his AirPods.
Please, I really hope I'm not shooting in the dark here. I really hope. Chat, please tell me I'm not crazy here.
We'll find some of these.
So tell me if you guys get these sponsored ads. They are this is what it is. It's they recorded a song, and then they record themselves like in front of a lake, and then they just perform over the song that they recorded.
A lot of people in the chat room get these, yes.
Okay,
It
like-
is
These
One
and the
guy
shirts.
says, Jackal says, I feel personally attacked.
it is so
I
Is
think
that-
he's one of the rappers.
Is Jackal the rapper?
Jackal rapper.
Lil Jackal?
Yeah.
I think I like them ironically, if I'm being straight up, but I still enjoy them. I enjoy knowing that these people are just straight
Yeah.
laying bars.
It's kind of like me. I have it, and I put it on my feed. And if you follow me, you've seen it. But it's that he was a celebrity at one time, and he's still a celebrity now. But I say he was a celebrity one time because his star it's crested. You know, like his name is Johnny Dark, and he sings like songs. And I just put his songs up. But he's just an old man that sings songs. That's all he does. But
All
here's
right.
what's great about him. He wears a black sweater and black gloves when he holds his phone with a black case on it, so you can't see the phone because he holds it right at chest level when he films himself in the mirror, and that's what makes it wonderful. That's
a
what
magic
makes
trick.
It's a magic.
He's
trick.
like, they'll never.
Yeah,
figure
he's like
this
they'll
out.
never see it. And he sings, and he knows all the greatest celebrities. He knows Jerry Seinfeld, Jay Leno. He's been in Hollywood for years. He's just maintained for 50 years, and he sings songs every single day, and it's my favorite thing to watch.
Well, if he would just take that talent and put it in front of a lake and rap, he could go next level.
I like this.
At least in Ross's feed.
I think you curate yours more than we do because you're trying to get the humor out of it and make yours a little more like.
Oh, I have no more humor in my
Yeah, like-
algorithm. It's only facts and science.
It's like science, facts, how to make yourself better at running, tips for riding your cycle, swimming tips.
I've always thought I had a really good algorithm
Yeah.
just pursuing stand-up comedy for a while now, because a lot of my follows are comedians that either I worked with or we did shows together.
yeah,
and
yeah.
every now and then I get to see some really good just pieces of content from all these comedians that no one's ever heard of, but they still care. They still put out good content. And I've always enjoyed my little feed, but that's the
not bad.
problem. That's the problem. It hooks you in.
Yeah, you love it. You're addicted to your own smell.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
You smell yourself, boy. I had a coach that used to say that.
let's end with this. Let's talk about stealing from other people because
Ooh, who we're gonna rob?
well, no, I found that often
Let's roll Jim Colbert.
no,
I feel like I could push him over and grab what's in his pockets.
I'll scroll like TikTok, and then someone will come up with some sort of topic or something, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna steal that and do the exact same thing.
It's rampant.
And then it doesn't matter anymore
it doesn't
because
matter anymore.
There's so much.
It's tough.
I saw a kid doing a full set of like really famous Eddie Murphy comedy. I'm like, that's 50 years old, but he was doing it like it was his. He wasn't doing it as Eddie Murphy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know those jokes.
Yeah, and there's
That's
only
really funny,
Those
though.
jokes are forever old, but
Yeah,
I'd watch. That's a Fringe show right there.
I'm sure somebody's tried to
Kids
do it.
doing Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Well, he was like teens, you know.
Oh, I thought
he
he was like 9. I'm
No,
like,
that's
all day.
Like,
Let's
get
go.
my daughter doing it.
But it seems, going back to what used to be the trend, like, speaking of Joe Rogan, like Joe Rogan attacking old Mencia about stealing jokes and stuff. And that was at the height, when was that? Like 2006,
7 or 8?
7, 8, then it was like when the internet, we were exposed, you were using it, or like,
Maybe
hold
12.
on. And now it doesn't seem like it's a thing anymore, or at least that I've seen, because there's so much, it's almost impossible. There's people doing
it only
same
matters
bits.
if you get big enough, right? Like I think you could be an almost like a mid-level successful comedian actively stealing jokes from people and just blend yourself into the digital universe. And then if you did get big enough, somebody would find you and pop you, and then it would ruin you. But it would be up to you to like ride it out.
But would they ruin you? Because I feel like everybody's borrowing from everybody, and then it's just
they'd
like
only ruin you within that. If you like how you if you have no like integrity, then I guess it doesn't matter.
It is a forever conversation. I think that conversation will always last in entertainment, and it's definitely ramped up more. Everything you just said, spot on. Stealing is that feels like you broke into a house or something. Here's a great story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we
sometimes
have
you're
one of these.
influenced by.
Here's a great story, and I'll never forget this. And it was such a lesson for me and for everything. It was really, we make this sketch. We call it Disease Street. I'm COVID-19. I am moving into a neighborhood.
That's all diseases.
Okay,
Right?
I like
He's the Spanish flu.
I was his next door neighbor, the Spanish flu.
Can I be AIDS?
Yeah.
Because AIDS, you can survive AIDS now.
You're not skinny enough.
You already are, Tom.
I got the juice.
We had the herpes. We had the Black Plague. Right? We posted.
And I'm HPV.
It rips. It does really, really well on TikTok.
This is during COVID, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Right? Months go by. All of a sudden, it's a Saturday night. My phone blows up. And all of a sudden, people are going like, yo, SNL took your sketch. And I'm thinking, there's no way SNL took the sketch. I go ahead, I watch the sketch. And I'm like, oh my God, there's COVID-19 wearing my same exact costume. There's Mr. and Mrs. Herpes. There is a Spanish flu, I think, but it was an old Spanish woman.
It was enough that everybody was kind
all
of
of
like,
a sudden was like,
that
whoa.
is...
Now, did they steal that? That's a completely different sketch than they did. They took it and went a wildly different direction. And I remember being really upset still, like, oh my God, how the hell did they even find this?
Yeah.
It was because my friend submitted to an NBC writing packet and used that sketch. It was Christoph who helped me write that sketch. We all worked together on that.
Yeah.
And he submitted that. Then that's how they would end up seeing this sketch. But here's the punchline to this story. I got pissed. I got all pissy. And I was like, I can't believe Saturday Night Live did that. And I made a video. And I was like, you guys want to see some crazy ass stuff? I go ahead. I say what I just told you. And the first comment was, is somebody going to tell him that Chappelle did it first?
So Chappelle
had, I believe, some sort of sickness neighborhood thing back on Chappelle's show.
Okay. Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at? Is that it's such
They stole our idea that we stole.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
everything.
And then Chappelle had the balls to use a time machine.
It is so. I had no idea. Every idea it's your. In my mind, my creative mind is that, like, there are comedians making Chick-fil-A jokes, but I'm curious about what my Chick-fil-A joke is.
Of course, yeah.
And then always walking that balance and that plank. Where I think it gets unbelievably dirty is stealing stand-up material and getting it down to cadence, tone, and most importantly, the thought itself. Clever thoughts, those are hard to come by.
Yeah,
and for someone to walk up to any of my act and go, oh, that clever thought, it sounds crazy, but it took a week to think of because the radar didn't pick up on that thought. Those are gems. When stand-up and cadence and beats and punchlines get stolen, that's when it gets absolutely dirty. But when I saw that comment, it made me realize, like, I need to redefine what I think entertainment is and what that definition of stealing is. Because I don't want to be butthurt over every idea that I think of, and someone goes, I have a weed joke.
Yeah, and we're all influenced by different things. Like, you were like, I had no idea that, and quote unquote stole it. You may have been influenced by that thought, and that's how all human brains work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's influenced by society, so we're all coming up with similar things at all times.
Like, I can't get out of my brain the fact that you said Chick-fil-A, and all I can think about is when they used to put the pickles in the little cup if you wanted extra pickles, and now they put it back on the sandwich. Why? Why did you change it?
Also, it's a good sign.
That's your new bit.
I thought something was funny enough, and so did professionals at SNL. So I'm on the same wavelength.
Right.
So
it is a positive.
So that means I can think of something else that they would think is the caliber of comedy that they should be on SNL. So
and I know we're up against the clock, but I know, like, our sketches, we had a video snap at the end of last year, and then all of a sudden a new trend started happening. Is this stealing? People have pages that they grab the audio of sketches and then put a cartoon to it, animate it without our permission or anything, but it's almost encouraged right now on the internet. Hey, use the audio, do your own version of it. We don't get any payment when someone grabs our and that's the clever thought that
it's audio. Good day.
And honestly, it's awesome. Like, I found it and I was like, Rauce, look at this. We're cartoons. Yeah.
It's more exposure. Yeah,
but, sure.
But then I looked at their numbers and I was like, whoa,
man,
that's a millions.
Yeah. And then
that's a million.
That's
a lot of people.
I think we're in the middle of almost puberty when it comes to this topic.
Sure.
I don't think we know yet. And I'm still learning because I couldn't believe that. I'm like, oh my God, they're profiting off of the clever thought of that script that we took 2 to 3 days to come together and go, oh yeah, that's good.
I'm surprised you didn't get any reaction videos where they took just purely one guy who has a charismatic personality, or Riz, and he just starts watching your videos.
A Riz master?
A Rizzler. Oh. And he's just reacting to what you're doing, and then, like, he's blowing up billions of views just reacting to your great comedy.
All I know is that I feel confident that I was put on this planet to make stuff to the best of my abilities, to, as a team, making something together. That's the best high. Is so good. So that's all I'm going to keep doing. And if people use the audio for it, it's my honor.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Chat room says, jokes stolen on the go. Just call Mo.
Yeah.
Call Mo out there, because I know we share some.
That's
love
fair.
for
He'll
Mo.
figure it out.
Also, I've heard heroin and cocaine is the best high.
I heard that,
There's no better than that.
Yeah. Tiny bit of fentanyl.
Was that from your marathon training?
Yeah.
Want to run real fast?
Yeah, Good Sauce with Rauce and Joel on Wednesdays at 8 on Real Radio, and you can download the podcast.
All platforms.
Spotify is where I get it.
God, man, you guys have helped me out so much.
No problem. And there's Fringe Show. Get your tickets.
Yeah, it starts this Thursday, and there's multiple Fringe shows, so grab your tickets. Rauce, Joel, thank you
love
very
you guys.
much, man.
Thank you for being
so
here.
mutual. It's so mutual.
All right, y'all.
We'll be right back.
Beautiful. We're still on the thing. Well, we're going to lunch, right? Or are we going to do another meal?
We're going